Hi Miss Beck, I'm Mert from LP6. Today I will talk about communication tools and how they changed over time. First of all, I had to prepare survey and interview questions. Then I had to interview with 3 people. I selected my grandmother as an older person, my mother as a middle-aged person, and my friend Sena as my peer. Then I had to find people to do my survey. I put my survey questions on surveymonkey.com and my friends did it for me. Then I had to call my aunts and uncles to do the survey. I did the survey with them and I asked my mother to do survey with her friends for me. She accepted it and did the survey for me. And then I thought the survey with older people would be the hardest, but it wouldn't be the hardest because I remembered that my grandmother has 5 sisters and I asked her to do the survey for me and she accepted it too. When I take the results, I make the charts, and when I interviewed with that 3 people, I summarized that interview. Finding the article was absolutely the hardest one because I couldn't find an article about Turkey until I learned that it could be in Turkish. After the research part, I found an article which was good enough for summarizing, then I summarized it. After these article and interview issues, I wrote an essay about how and why it has changed and what are the results for it, and at the end I predicted the future. Now I want to talk about how things have changed over time. In my grandmother's childhood, there was only one radio in their neighborhood. All people listened to the same radio in every evening. The radio was the most important mass media in that time. The other communication tool was the letter. Everybody uses the letter to communicate, and people went to post offices more often than us because we just go there to pay our bills. In my mother's childhood, they couldn't access to the information like we do. They had to go and make a research in the library. On the other hand, we just have to do is typing the information that we want into the search box. My mom thinks that isn't fair, and she also complains about the price of communication in the past. She thinks it was very expensive. According to her, you had to pay a lot of money to talk with someone else. And they also have a black and white TV when she was young. The only colored television was one of her neighbors who was living in Germany, and he brought it from Germany. In my friend's childhood, we have an internet access. Therefore, we can find the information we want easily. We also have cell phones to communicate with someone else immediately. My friend thinks if the communication tools improves like this, we won't have a direct connection in next years. And I learned that, and I agree with her, and I also learned that we have lots of easiness in our lives if we compare our lives to our mother's or grandmother's childhood. Then I did the survey. I learned that people like changes when they are young, and I think the reason is young people can understand technology easily, however the older people can't. Another thing I learned from my survey results is older people have lots of time and they spend their times with watching TV. However, the teenagers don't have that much time, so we use faster communication tools like the internet and the cell phones. From the article I learned that the internet and cell phones aren't really common because there are lots of people who can't find anything to eat, and we can't expect them to have cell phones or even a normal house phone. And I learned that everything is based on money because the article said they give us wrong information to gain money. It seemed a little bit weird, but it shows us the communication is still expensive. Actually, the expensive thing is to take correct information, I guess. Another thing I learned from the article is we have a huge diversity. We in the past we have only one television channel and one newspaper, but now we have lots of channels and newspapers in Turkey. Another thing I learned from the newspaper is some leader countries try to control the other countries with using the communication tools. Now I will talk about my essay. First of all, how it is changed. As my mother said, the communication has become faster and cheaper. One of the reasons of these changes is to make people's lives easier and companies want people to buy their stuff. They show it like it is fascinating and people buy it. Later, people became addicted to these stuffs, as my survey result says. However, the most important reason of these changes is people need it. People need these changes. The other topic was the results of these changes. Well, it has lots of pros and cons. For example, we have a fast communication system and a huge diversity, which is a good thing. However, we start to lose some friendships because of this digital world. In the future, this digital world will be increased a lot because technology will increase too. We will have more computers in our houses and satellites in the space. In the future, the people who know use things will be successful like today. However, we have to be smarter and more careful because in the future we won't be the new generation.